Hi, I'm Brian Denton.
And I'm Mona Wong.
Welcome to the Home Buying Uncensored podcast.
We are here to talk to you about all the joys of home buying,
all the struggles and tribulations, but we're going to make it fun and we're going to make it easy. Mona's going to make sure it is uncensored.
Strap on your seatbelts, you're in for a ride.
Shh. What? Today we're going to talk about secrets.
Oh, I love secrets. I'm so good at them.
Secrets from your loan officer is not a good thing, though.
No, because you know why?
You'll get caught.
It's because numbers don't lie.
Yeah, numbers don't lie, and we look at everything.
We do. And we know math.
Right. At least we have a calculator, know how to use a calculator.
Exactly.
So I think what we really need to explain is that it's not so much keeping a secret. We're not saying anybody does this stuff on purpose. It's more of non-disclosure.
Yes.
Okay. Some things are blatant. Like if you just went out and bought a brand new BMW, it's going to show up eventually, even though it doesn't show up on the credit report now. It's going to show up.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people these days, they think that the old days when you used to go into the bank and there'd be a big guy in a suit and tie, behind a giant cherry desk, and you'd be like, ugh. No, we're your advocates. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to help you. Okay. But yet at the same time, we're not going to commit fraud or break the law to do that.
No.
Okay. So, the repercussions of let's say you get away with it, and then the repercussions of down the line, mortgage fraud, they don't play on that anymore. No. So just be, one of the things to be honest, and like some of the things, that have happened to us over the years. I mean, we've got some good ones, I would imagine.
Oh, I have some really juicy ones.
Yeah. Tell me your good, juicy.
Well, and I think like sometimes it's we laugh about it, and if you're in a business, like you'll laugh about it, and I think borrowers don't do it on purpose,
No.
but they'll tell you, oh yeah, I make like $100,000 a year, and they're self-employed, and then you get the tax returns, and it's like they make like $20,000 a year, and it's like not so much that they lie. It's that they over embellish, and then it's like, well, yeah, I make $100,000, but on paper, I'm not showing that. And it's like, I get that, but you can't have the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Not when it comes to financing. You're gonna have to pay the taxes in order for us to show the income.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it works.
I had one. This is a really cool one. I had one that the guy was an electrical engineer, professional, making $90,000, $100,000 a year. This is about 10, 15 years ago.
That's a lot of money 10, 15 years ago.
It was. And electrical engineer, was not a U.S. citizen. So naturally I asked, what type of visa you on? Or you have a green card? No, I'm just on a working visa. Okay. I took the loan application, so the loan was committed to, subject to him providing the updated visa. Well, long story short, he didn't tell me the truth, and he was here on a vacation visa that expired 10 years prior to me doing the mortgage application. But
how did he get the job?
The employer in Florida basically was fudging the I-9 form.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, he goes, well, I could send you the I-9 form. And I looked at the I-9 form. The underwriters, no, I need the visa. I need the visa. And which made me look kind of shady, and
you're not slim. Just kidding. You're in good shape, Brian, for your age.
I know, right? But the thing is, he ended up losing his deposit.
Yeah. Because
it was one of those situations we talked about in our last episode where, and especially in Florida, once you're approved, that's it.
That's
game over.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't close, your deposit's gone.
Yeah.
He ended up losing like a $15,000 deposit.
That's insane.
If he had just said the truth to me up front,
we could have fixed it.
It could have been fixed, or we could have put him in a different program.
Or you could have avoided it. He could have just, unfortunately, sometimes it means you can't buy.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
And there was a legit condition. Send out, a copy of updated visa.
Yeah. Well, I've seen fake pay stubs.
Yeah.
So, and I, when I looked at it, and you do your calculations to see your year to date and see where, is it in line with what they say that you're supposed to make. And this person was supposed to be making supposedly $80,000. Now she works in a restaurant. I get it. Like a lot of the income, if you work in a restaurant, especially if you're a server, there's some of it that's unreported. But this person was supposedly, not a server and was just working at the restaurant, just making straight hourly salary, whatever that was. And she was making about $80,000 a year. And so we were about halfway in the year. So simple math, 80 divided by 2, $40,000. So her year to date should have been on or around that $40,000 line, but she was at 20. So I asked, all right, well, were you on like a sabbatical? Like what happened?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, nothing happened. We switched ownerships. Okay. So show me your last pay stub from the previous owner. Because then if we add the 2 year to dates, you should be around 40. She couldn't produce it.
Yeah.
Well, that raises all of my flags.
Yeah.
So I had to look deeper into it. And then, I finally had to say, there's something not right with this. The math is not mathing. So we had to find a different way of financing the house. And luckily, we were able to use her spouse was on the loan as well. So we didn't need her income. So we could do away with that. But, again, like had she been upfront with me and said, I work, but my money is not documented, then we would have to find a way around it and or use the income that is documented.
Correct.
Right. And I get it. There are a lot of people, that's how they make their money. It's and it is what it is. It's kind of like self-employed borrowers. You write off everything. So, and to save taxes, and I get that. And yeah, it's your right to do that. Unfortunately, tax laws doesn't allow you to borrow money.
Well, right. It's like, the money that the way we underwrite a loan and the way an accountant would use your income for the deductions are two different things.
Two different things.
Because we're working off a net income after deductions.
Right.
So, your gross receipts could have been $200,000, and after deductions, you made $20,000. The business made $20,000.
Right.
As a sole proprietor, guess what? We're using $20,000 as your annual income.
Exactly.
So, you got to keep that in mind, and that's usually why we won't even issue a pre-approval. Well, I never do. I won't issue a pre-approval on a self-employed borrower without seeing the tax return.
Oh yeah, you have to see everything. You have to.
And I had one who this guy was he ran a hedge fund.
Mm-hmm.
He had an apartment in New York City. He was paying like $17,000 a month.
Oh my God.
He had a $40,000 a month alimony payment.
Oh my God.
And he was setting up an office in Boston, and he comes here because he's getting divorced and he wants to be near his kids, so he's buying a second home in Massachusetts so his kids could have his kids over on weekends and things. Well, he failed to mention that he signed a lease for a brand new office personally.
Oh.
For an additional $6,000 a month.
So that counts against him.
So I mean, he made a lot of money, but when you started adding up all these bills,
that's a lot.
$40,000 in alimony. When the unfortunate part was he only had a year left in alimony. But
okay.
I'm like, here are your two choices. You can either pay her off now, so I can get rid of that, or he just was like, I'm not giving her a cent.
It is what it is.
So you didn't get the loan. But if I had known that,
you could have planned for it.
Because it didn't show up in my credit report. I know it didn't show up in your credit report, but it shows up on your bank statements. We see it.
Right.
And an underwriter's going to flag that
Yep.
and see it. So when you think just because it doesn't show up on your credit report, if it's coming out of an account that we're using as a down payment, we're going to look at those line items, okay? No, we don't care how many times you go to Dunkin' Donuts, but we do care if there's,
like a reoccurring payment.
Right,
for like
$1,500 to a management company or something. Then
or to just Joe Smith.
Yeah, we're going to ask question. What is this for? Is this a long-term
debt? Is this a debt? Exactly.
So just keep that in mind. So.
The other fraudulent activity that we see a lot is ownership.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So, like, if you're buying a property, you say you plan on living in it, because we all know that if you buy a property to live in, the rate is better than if you were going to be renting it out. So that's a big thing to, you just can't embellish it. You can't, there's no way around it. You got to be honest, and like, sure, everybody wants a deal, but there's a right and wrong way to do everything, and you have to be upfront with it. There's nothing worse than getting busted after the fact, and then what? Like, bank fraud goes on your record.
Yeah, or minimum lose your deposit. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Or,
I mean, that's not the worst thing that could happen. Bank fraud is, that's, owner occupancy fraud is the biggest.
It's the biggest bank fraud.
Right
Yeah.
now. It's like, and it's like the CFPB and all the auditing sources. That's what they're looking at.
Right.
They're really keying in on saying,
Yeah.
especially on. In certain types of loans where we're using rent to qualify people.
You're not going to be able to pull one over. Like, you are not going to be smarter than the fifth grader.
Yeah, and legit, if you moved into that house for, say it's an FHA loan and you wanted to move out after a year and then rent it out,
Sure.
not an issue.
Right.
Conventional loan after 6 months, not an issue. But you have to have moved into that home for those periods of time.
Yep.
And at the time,
and you actually sign a document at closing.
You do.
That says you are going to be taking over possession of the house and habitating in the home within 60 days
right.
of closing.
Which means you got to be in there on day 59.
Yeah.
It's not day 61 or day 60.
Now, is somebody going to check you? Probably not. But I had a situation. It wasn't mine. It was in one of my agents who was a friend of mine. He had a buyer who bought a condo to live in. Okay? Everything was fine, closed it. Come to find out, the day before, or it was like the day of or day after he closed, it's on the MLS for rent. So the lender saw it and called the loan back.
Yeah.
And he was like, and my friend was like, dude, what did you do? Like, you told me you were going to be moving in here.
Yeah.
Like, he legit thought that his client was going to be living in that. And he was like, oh, yeah, well, we just decided to rent it out.
Well, no, you can't do that.
Right. And so now the loan got called back. So what happens when that happens?
They're gonna. It's due and payable. It's a
So
call
they have
on.
to
It's
come up
due
with
on
that?
demand. Yeah, of course it is.
So then,
It's bank fraud. Either that, or they're gonna have to. What usually happens in that case? Because I had a situation where a guy did fraud on a loan, and we were completely not involved at all. When I owned the company before I owned Guarantee, I owned another company prior to that, and
do they have the option to sell it?
They want it off their books, so you got to refi it at whatever the.
So you can refinance.
Yeah,
it.
before they
Before they throw you in a slammer.
Yeah, before they give you bank fraud and start arresting you, So I mean, it's a legit. I mean, it really is. And guess what? Underwriters, they have access to the internet. All right.
Yeah.
So they also look at salaries. Those are one of the, the thing is if you're a bus driver and you say you make 150 grand a year, they're going to look up and they know the ranges of salaries for bus drivers or cooks or, so they if it's way out of that range, then they're going to investigate further. So just keep in mind with the advent of the internet and over the last 20 years, people in the more and more and you can find anything online.
Oh my gosh!
So it's like unbelievable. So
definitely,
you can't listen. We're your advocates. We're here to help you, but we're also you got to tell us about the possible pitfalls. I mean, too much information is good. In some cases. Right. And when we tell you it doesn't matter, we already know it doesn't matter.
Right.
And if you're an honest loan officer, so just keep that in mind when you're sitting in front of a loan officer. Be upfront as possible.
Right.
If you're not sure about something on an application, ask.
Yeah. I know there are some people who are afraid to let us know how much assets you have and fear that we're going to make you spend it all. I don't care if you have $1 billion and you only want to put down 10%. That's your business. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But, we need to see reserves in some situations. And so, we need to see that. Or where your down payment's coming from. Like, if you're telling me you're putting down $500,000, I'm like, okay, where is that money right now? And they're like, oh.
Yeah.
And when you give me that long, drawn out it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
And just to be upfront with me, I have heard it all. And there's a way to do everything. So, however that money is getting to you, let's just talk about it and make it so that it is kosher, and then we can be able to sleep at night and know that nobody is going to audit you and accuse you of anything. You can be your own worst enemy.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Yeah. And just be upfront with us, and it'll make your life a lot easier, and our lives a lot easier.
Right.
All right.
All right then. So be good out there. Don't commit fraud. Be upfront with your loan officers. Be upfront with your real estate agents. Don't make our lives miserable.
Don't make your life miserable.
Exactly. Help me help you. Not my line, Jerry Maguire's. Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. We really enjoyed having you here. If you have any questions, drop us a note. Let us know. You can get us at hello@homebuyinguncensored.com. You can also reach us on Instagram. Our handle is homebuying_uncensored. Thanks.
Where's the shut off button? I can't see it with my glasses on.